Hello, it is Reviews Day Tuesday. This week it is the Quiet as Mouse Book Club, and I am reviewing the Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children trilogy by Ransom. So that's book 1, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Hollow City, the second book, and Library of Souls, the third. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to review 3 books without spoiling at least the first one, but I'm going to try. The books follow Jacob, a 16-year-old boy. After his grandfather dies, he follows a series of clues to an old orphanage on a Welsh island where his grandfather used to live. He meets the peculiar children who live there who have powers, peculiarities like invisibility, flight, strength, and their ward/headmistress, Miss Peregrine, who looks after them and maintains the time loop which keeps them safe at their orphanage from the hologhasts and the wights that evolve from them. Anyway, Jacob discovers his own peculiar ability and uses that to try and help his new friends, and then things escalate from there. So the second book involves a perilous journey or chase, and then the third book is a search in a dangerous time loop. I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say that we're not going to spend all 3 books in the orphanage. The 3 books are quite distinct. We meet new characters and go to new places. The really interesting thing about these books is that they contain found photos. They influence and are interweaved with the plot, like so. It's clever, it adds a certain amount of creepiness. A lot of the photos are pretty creepy. It's a really good device, I think. They are most successful in the first book. I think there are more of them, and they're more crucial to the plot. A lot of Jacob's clues are in the form of these photos. And also we meet a lot of the main characters in the photos, which makes them seem quite real, even though obviously the real people in the photos aren't actually peculiar children living in an orphanage in a time loop. To our knowledge. In the second and third books, sometimes the photos seem a bit more shoehorned in, or are just less necessary, but there are still plenty of really good ones which add atmosphere and interest. I would also say that just the first book in general is my favourite. The orphanage is just such an interesting place to be, and meeting the children is such a joy, and Jacob getting to know his grandfather's past. But I would say that I found the second and third books perhaps more exciting. The peculiar world gets bigger, which is fascinating, and the stakes are higher, and there are so many fantastic characters. All of the peculiar children we meet in book 1 and later seem real and interesting. They're all a lot older than they appear because they've been in the time loop for so long, and I feel like Riggs portrays this really well. They all have old heads on their shoulders, but they are still in many ways children. And the peculiarities as well are very imaginative. For instance, Olive has to be constantly tethered or she'll float away, and Hugh can control bees and keeps them in his stomach for safekeeping. They're all well thought out, and their inconveniences are as well explored as, you know, their flashy funness. Other characters, I really love Addison. I can't actually remember when he appears, and one of my favourite characters is Sharon, who appears in book 3. The books are very quick and easy reads. It's written in the first person from the point of view of Jacob. I found his to be quite a good voice. He's observant and empathetic. He's also very young and often doesn't realise how young he is, which is interesting compared to the other children who are all so old. And the book/Jacob has quite a fun, interesting turn of phrase. There's going to be a film out soon, which I'm very excited about. They have changed a few of the peculiarities around, and they also seem to have changed the wights a bit, so I'll be really interested to see what that's like. But I would totally recommend reading the books. It's probably my favourite young adult series that I've read in quite a while. I will give the Miss Peregrine's Peculiar Children trilogy 4.6 out of 5. So next books on the 4th of October I will be reviewing Crime and Punishment. Fingers crossed I finish it in time. And then on the 18th of October I'm going to review The Martian by Andy Weir. So that's it. I would really love to know what you think about these books if you have read them. I'm going to be away now for a few days. I'm planning on being back at the weekend. So I hope you have a great week until then, and I will see you soon.